What's the craziest challenge you faced in business that nobody would believe?
Ooh,
It's just a crazy thing that happened.
crazy thing that happened. I'll give you two. Okay, they go back to the GPS tracking industry. Number one, I'm gonna call a big company out right here, and I've already done this publicly, and I don't give a rat's ass if they hear this because I have zero love for them whatsoever. So you guys have heard of Verizon, I'm sure.
Of course.
Okay, Verizon owns a whole bunch of companies. They're all like subsidiaries of Verizon. There was one called Verizon Connect. Verizon Connect is a GPS tracking telematics company. Okay, the reason that Verizon and AT&T like to get involved in the GPS tracking space is every single GPS tracking device that's out there has a SIM card or basically a phone number in it. And the way that they send the GPS tracking data is over a coded text message back and forth. It's over cellular, right? So it communicates with satellites and then sends this data packet. So these big phone companies love tracking devices because it's the same to them as selling a cell phone. They get paid the same money for the SIM card kind of deal. Anyway, Verizon Connect comes in with all their giant funds, and they gobble up like 3 smaller GPS tracking companies. And we did work for 2 of the 3 of them. So all of a sudden now we're working for Verizon Connect. And the companies we worked for prior were awesome to deal with. Verizon Connect comes in, and now they're technically a software company. That's what GPS tracking companies are. They buy this black boxes hardware from overseas. They program it to work with the software solution that they create. Don't mind me. I'm just breaking shit here. So they come in and they tell all the vendors, hey guys, we're going to continue sending work to you. And they're busy, by the way. Like, we're doing multiple jobs a day for these people. We're super busy with them. We're going to continue sending you a lot of work, but we're updating the software we use in the background that actually pays you guys, and you're not going to get paid from us for at least 90 days. Okay. Well, that sucks. Well,
Yeah.
You gave us heads up and notice.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So we're dealing with it. Long story short, 90 days turned into like 6 months. And my guys got paid every week. Like, think about it. You got an employee.
Right.
Yeah, you got
These
to
guys get paid every week. So now I'm literally playing the bank, and I'm a small business. Okay. We're doing a couple $1 million a year. Cool. I've got 30 people on the team. Cool. But I don't have the bankroll that Verizon does. And they put this massive pressure on me, my business partner, and my company at the time. And I got real spicy with them very publicly online, courtesy of the tracking group that I had. And
Yeah.
I was calling them out in their Facebook ads. Like, I just didn't give a shit. Like, you guys owe us money. They owed us over $200,000.
Oh, wow.
You know, you take that kind of cash flow away from a business, a small business that needs it, and like, you can bury them really quickly. And it put us into such a predicament that on 3 separate occasions, I went to my personal savings account and withdrew money to cover payroll. Like, what?
Right.
It shouldn't be this way. Like, we're performing the work for you guys.
Right.
We showed up.
We're
We did the
holding up
work.
our end of the
Yeah.
bargain. Yeah.
Yeah. So they eventually did pay, and they caught everything up on that. But I had gotten so vocal with them that they decided to blacklist Top Class Installations, and they're no longer a vendor for Verizon Connect. And cool. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was a dicey one. Another one. Oh, what's another one that we dealt with? This is a tough business situation. What was the question again?
It was just
Craziest
crazy thing that
craziest
happened.
thing in business.
Could be speaking engagements. It could be.
I don't have nothing dicey with speaking engagement. I've been very fortunate. Like, I probably shouldn't say this. Okay. I had a speaking engagement that went sideways, actually. It turned out well, but it was wild. So it's August 2022. I get invited to go to Utah to speak at this event. And I don't know, there's 150, 200 people at this event. Walk in the room, meet the dude. Cool. Everything's ready to rock and roll. Check the place out. You know, I see it's busy. And like, hey man, I'm going to, I just got done with the gym. It's like 8 in the morning. This thing opened up, and I was like, hey man, I'm going to go upstairs and shower and get ready for the day. And I'll come back down. Like, what time do you need me on today? He's like, 12:30, something like that. All right, cool. Got plenty of time. So I go upstairs, shower up, and I'm in the shower, and all of a sudden the lights go out. What's going on? It's August in Utah. Like, what are the lights going on? It's the middle of the day. So, wind up going downstairs. The entire hotel is out. The entire block is out.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh man, like, as someone who's hosted a lot of events over my career for myself and for others, like, I understand the pressure this guy's under. He's got a room full of people that paid a couple hundred, if not thousands of dollars to be here. and he's got no lights. He's got no AV. He's got no microphones, nothing. And his show's still going on. So I'm like, man, I hope this stuff's on by the time I'm done. And like, I usually come in pretty prepared, right? Some places you go in and there is no presentation. It's you speaking. And other times it's, hey, I've got a presentation with this one because some of these slides are going to be important for what I got to tell you. And like, you know, for anyone who's done any kind of public speaking, like you're putting some work into it before you show up at the venue. Even if it's the same speech you've given before, you kind of got to manipulate it and change it to
the crowd.
Yeah. So I had put hours of work into this sucker. I'm like, oh man, get into the room and everything's still out. Everything was still out the entire day. Everything was still out into the next day for day 2 of the event, right? The place was wiped. So I went up, getting on stage at like 12:30, 1 o'clock and spoke for, I think 45 minutes, 50 minutes.
Have like
just had to
lights?
raise my voice. There was one floodlight on in the place. Like, dude, honestly, him and his team handled it so well. The people who were attendees, they handled it like, it's just life, man.
Yeah.
Like there's certain things that are outside the control. It's not like someone went in there and said, oh, we're going to turn the lights on you guys so you have a miserable experience.
Did anybody die? That's
No,
what I was asked.
Bingo. So almost.
Oh,
We found out that the reason that the block, not just the hotel, the block had no lights. A lady crashed a car in the underground parking garage and took out a transformer that morning.
Wow.
Yeah, she survived. She was
That's
okay. But it wiped. So this was a giant hotel right across the street from the convention center in Salt Lake City. And next to this hotel was a huge ass mall as well. Wiped out the power for both of these facilities.
Wow.
Yeah. So think about all the business the mall
Right.
lost that day.
Right.
Wow, that's crazy.
Man, that is crazy. What about clients? Any crazy client stories or transformations that you've seen with your clients?
Dude, I got a recent one right now. I'm so proud of these people. Nick and Jessica Beckman, right?
What's their company?
They own High Volume Car Stereo in Lawton, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Right? A little small podunk town. There's a military base in the town. Like it's like old school hometown, right? I met, backstory here, I met Nick at the very first speaking engagement I had in 2019.
Okay.
Yep. We were both hanging out at the hotel pool, like the day after my speaking engagement. He saw me speak and we were at the hotel pool and we were having a couple of drinks and he had just lost his mom and like just having genuine conversation with the guy, you know? And I'm like, man, this fucking guy talks a lot, you know, cool, whatever. And then every time that I went to, and I spoke at one of these Knowledge Fest events for the MEA that was close to where he was from, like he would always show up and sit in the front row and ask really good questions. All right, cool. So this past September, we do the one in Dallas. He's sitting in the front row with his wife. And afterwards he comes up to me and he's like, I'm ready. He goes, enough of this crap. We've talked about this a bunch of times. He goes, I want to work with you. And he goes, I'm only going to do it if my wife can come along. And if your girl, Catherine, is going to come and help too. And like, cool. Cause that's what Catherine does too. She does a lot of mindset, a lot of business coaching as well. And her and his wife, Jessica, clicked like immediately. It's like, all right, cool. Now let's put something together and make this happen. So they invest a whole bunch of money, come work with us. And we started September. We just extended the contract for another 3 months, about 2 weeks ago. And the growth that they've seen and the things that they've done since starting with us is just, it's leaps and bounds. So they both have a lot of growth on the business side of the house, which I'll get into in a second, but also on the personal side of the house. Like that's one of the things people don't realize too. I'll never go out there and be like, hey, I'm your life coach. Like, I don't like the term. It's not how I roll. But when I'm helping someone in their business, oftentimes we have to get into the life side of things, the personal side of things, because oftentimes you got a problem over there that's holding you back from succeeding over here. Or you have to go develop over here in yourself and your person a bit more if you want to see that success flow to the business. So we're doing all these cool things. We go up, we see him in person, which I usually only reserve that for clients who are paying me to do an on-site assessment with them. They were close. Like, you know what? I'm going to bum up to their place and see their facility. We go there, we check it out. While we were there, we started running over some of the numbers with them. And in the first hour, we found $55,000 of cash that they hadn't collected over the prior year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was as simple as them raising their labor rate by 10%. Like, Nick, when's the last time you raised your labor rate? And he goes, the year before COVID. Okay. Well, we need to make some changes. So before we left that day, went into his software and changed all the pricing, not on the parts, just on labor. And he's already brought in an additional $55,000. from that alone. So
that's
that
awesome.
more than paid for the investment, working with me and Catherine. And while we're there, we looked at the facility. I said, the place needs some refreshing, right? I don't know if you guys feel this. We find this in our homes. We find this in our businesses. We find this in our cars. We kind of put the blinders on and get used to whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Right. And it takes that unemotionally attached third-party perspective sometimes to go, hey, that looks like shit right there. You should clean it up. And not from a nasty perspective, but someone who's caring for you in the best of ways. So, not that this place was in bad shape whatsoever, but there was a couple of things that can get cleaned up. Hey, do this, do this, do this, do this. And a lot of clients that I've worked with in the past will say, yeah, cool. And they're like, forget it. Right. So not only has Nick made the investment to work with us, but now he's making an investment, had this parking lot repaved, had the front of his store repainted, had new signage for the windows put together. Now the place looks like a whole new shop. Looks like a whole new place. He's getting a ton more drive-by traffic and people stopping in. So his walk-in traffic has just gone through the roof, right? We've built systems and processes to basically handle the increased workload. Next to him, Nick, keep this in mind, he owns the building. He's got a retail store, his office, his stockroom, like his parts, and he's got the garage is 2 bays. They can fit 2 cars in there to work on and close the doors for weather. Behind the shop is a big ass parking lot where he can do work as long as it's nice outside. Behind that is an open lot that he owns as well. And he planned on building a new facility there. He doesn't have the $850,000 right now to invest into it. Cool. Well, something else would be nice if it popped up and he'd be interested in considering it, right? So we kind of put these thoughts out into the universe. Calls us up 2 months ago. He says, hey, because the lady next door, the little old Korean lady who owns the Butterfly Lounge, which is a bar, she just knocked on my door and said asked me if I'd be interested in buying the place from her. I'm like, well, what does she want for it? And she's like, he goes to me, she wants $80,000 for it. What? He's like, yeah. He goes, I don't know if I believe her or not.
Right.
Like, well, all right, cool. Like, whether you believe her or not, we're going to
drop a contract.
So, he's been in his company. He's owned it for 10 years, but they've been in business for 30.
Okay.
And he worked in it for 15 years prior to owning it because his uncle owned it and he worked for his uncle. I mean, he's been there a long time. Got a really good relationship with local bankers, calls up the bank, and the bank is like, hey, you're good. We know the property. We'll basically cut you the check for it. Like it's a done deal. Just formalize it a little bit. So he goes in, a couple of weeks pass by, does so. And I'm going to pull up a photo here. I know the camera can't see it, but you guys sure can.
If you want to text it to us, we can put it on.
Yeah, I definitely will. Definitely will. They're in full-blown construction mode inside the new facility right now.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Up.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So this is going to be a fabrication room for them. I'll send you these photos as well. They do a lot of high-end fabrication and building of, just cool panels and shit in cars. So they got a fab room there. They're getting into, now they're doing window tint and truck accessories. So this whole shop over there is going to be for their high-end fabrication and window tinting. So like the window tinting, the projections we did on window tinting alone is going to bring in an additional $224,000 into the company in gross sales this year.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very cool.
So cool.
Wow.
Man.
Yep.
Very cool. Well, that's awesome. And